I think this godforsaken nightmare of Trump and global instability is almost over. You see, I follow the news every day since I was a teenager from all over the world, from all different media types. And I like to see what's going on around the world. Um, it's always been interesting to me because what happens across on the other side of the pond directly affects us here. Um, some people are good at math. Some people are good at chemistry, equations. Some people are good at taking part of engines. I'm really good at connecting the dots. Some people often ask me, why are you so obsessed with the United States? Well, this is the reason why. What happens over there affects us over here. Simple as that. So I'm going to read this. I wrote this out. It's just too much information for me to go back and forth to it, making a video. So there's some critical things that happened this week that lead me to believe a new global order is about to stabilize and the implosion of the United States complete without a single act of aggression towards the United States. There will be nowhere for Trump and his family to run, including Scott Bessent, Kristi Noem, Kash Patel, Hegseth, Lindsey Graham, Jim Jordan, Steve Bannon, and Stephen Miller. There's nowhere. They'll be locked behind bars for a very long time. So some critical events that happened. There's massive protests in the United States against ICE, and they're everywhere. Don Lemon was arrested, and Trump ordered the FBI to raid the election Georgia office. Why? It shows that Trump is desperate and running out of time. If time wasn't an issue, all of these events would be spread out over a long period of time. Because if you can imagine the analogy of where a frog is put into cold water and then that cold water is slowly boiled. The frog isn't going to go anywhere and it'll basically boil sitting in the water. It's the same thing with humans. When you have events and you're trying to numb the general public and take over the country, you would do these events spread out over a long period of time to have less of a shock effect on people, basically numbing them to the news cycle. Another thing that happened, there was a big, massive Epperman file dump, I can't say his name on here, with damaging reports against Trump and his inner circle. It was later deleted, but that was intentional. That was not by mistake. The American people elected a really sick man. What does this mean? It means the public is going to turn against Trump, even the MAGAs. And people that feared him aren't going to fear him anymore. And they're going to take out their knives. Even the people, even the billionaires that are giving him all this power are going to stab him in the back. And I wouldn't be surprised, and whatever Putin has against President Trump will be released too. Completely putting the United States into chaos, which is exactly what Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin want. Complete chaos in the United States. Xi Jinping arrested 2 of his senior generals with actual combat experience. Why is this important? Because it telegraphs to the world that he's not expecting a conflict in the near future. So he's comfortable getting rid of any possible threats to his dynasty. Prime Minister Starmer, I don't know, I can't pronounce his name, flew to China for a trade agreement. The rest of the world knows that the United States as a global superpower, as a trading superpower with its huge economy, is about to implode. And so everybody else is flocking to China, basically the New World Order, to secure trade and to soften their blows to their economies once this goes down. And it was a manipulation of Trump and his narcissistic personality that drove all the allies and the friends of the United States towards China. They played him like a fiddle. The United States Aircraft Carrier Strike Group has been in the Middle East for so long, and why hasn't it attacked yet? Like, Iran is relatively incapable of defending against a carrier strike group, but why hasn't Trump attacked yet? Well, there's several reasons. All of the Middle Eastern countries basically has warned the United States that if you attack Iran, it's going to be all-out war in the Middle East. All military personnel and bases of the United States will be fair game in all of the Middle East. There'd be nowhere safe for them. Russia, China, and Iran are conducting military drills as a show of force, as a warning to the United States. Don't mess with us. We're in this together. Basically, all the United States military bases that are in the Middle East are in great danger. And the United States knows that. And that is the biggest reason why they haven't attacked Iran. Russia and China were working together to manipulate Trump and turning the United States into Trump land. They just totally played him. They encouraged him to sever ties with NATO, threaten its partners, threaten its allies, basically isolating the United States from the rest of the world. So nobody's going to go up the bat and defend the United States. They wanted NATO to be gone because NATO was the only thing keeping China and Russia in check. And the United States was the cornerstone of that alliance. This will completely eliminate NATO, which is exactly what Vladimir Putin wanted. This is why Germany and the rest of the European Union is strengthening its defenses, just because they're on their own, basically. But I would expect Vladimir Putin to stop his invasion of Ukraine and settle on the borders of where they are at now and sign a peace treaty. Because, too, at the same time, their economy can't handle too much longer. The Russians, I mean. And they let Trump believe that Trump was in on their trio group, that he's going to be part of the dictators of the world. But they will never let the United States become a threat to their global dominance ever again. They're intent on destroying the United States. They let the American confidence, greed, and their ideology of being entitled to the world be their own downfall. It's an old political maneuver. You give a person enough rope, eventually they're going to hang themselves. That's what the saying says. In politics, that's what politicians do, and that's what they say. But this is just a theory. I could be wrong, but I expect if I am correct, and I usually am, that Trump is going to have a narcissistic collapse and start swinging when he goes down. He's going to take down anybody that's connected to him. And he may order a strike on Iran. That would also end up in the same result as the United States empire complete collapse. There's no way out of this. The United States is over. Of course, the military generals probably know this and would probably disobey orders and would not attack Iran. The politicians that are left in the United States that want to save whatever they can save from the United States might betray Trump. Those people that could be taken down by Trump, they're probably getting their knives ready right now, sharpening them. They're ready to stab him in the back. But the end result is still the same. The American people elected a man that was the conduit to the downfall of its empire. Basically, you did it to yourselves. So I would assume Pierre Poilievre, the separatists, and everybody else is not going to be a credible threat to Canada in the future. I'm assuming this. Also, Canada is set out to be the next global superpower that is aligned with whatever Western democracies are left. And this is why you're seeing such a huge investments in Canada right now from all across the world, because they know that Canada is going to be stable, because all these companies have risk analysts working for them, and they wouldn't let their huge billion-dollar companies invest in a country that was unstable and about to fall within the next year or two. They just wouldn't risk that. Anyways, with all the patterns taking place and me connecting the dots, Canada is set out to be in a pretty good position in the future. Well, anyways, stay deadly.